grab yourself a nice hot beverage like a peppermint hot cocoa. Grab yourself a blanket and let's get into the memories of Christmas shopping at the mall. This is going to be a long video, so this is probably going to be about, I don't know, maybe 6-7 minutes long. This is not that long of a video, but it's going to be a long video than I ever made on this channel. Basically, I don't know how long other videos were, but this is one of the longest videos I made on this channel. So grab a chair, grab something to eat that's warm, grab a hot cup of peppermint hot cocoa, and let's get into the memories of Christmas shopping at the mall. Not necessarily the Champlain Center Mall, but maybe whatever mall you went to growing up. Let's get into the history. This is my local mall here, Champlain Center. Anyway, let's get into the memories of Christmas shopping at the mall. First of all, we would go to the food court. The options at the food court would be Taco Bell, Burger King, Subway, Flaming Wok, Sbarro Pizza, and Little Tokyo. Little Tokyo was there. It was basically, they had sushi and stuff like that. Flaming Wok is the Chinese restaurant that used to be there. Now it's called China Cafe. Burger King used to be there. Taco Bell used to be there. And Subway. Sbarro's Pizza is the only thing besides the China Cafe that's still left in the mall. We would get something to eat and something to drink, and then after we would go to the little candy shop that was in the center court of the mall, the center area, before you got to the shopping stores. Now this isn't a exactly picture of the mall inside. This is actually just a representation of what the tree would look like. They have the tree, but I couldn't find a tree of the at the mall. So this would be in the food court area too. They had a tree in the JCPenney court area this year, but they didn't have a tree in the food court area. As I don't recall saw one. But they used to have in the food court. They used to have a tree as well. They'd take a couple tables out and put a tree there. As I would often like to go up to the Christmas tree, but there was a gate around the Christmas tree, so you couldn't touch the ornaments or anything. But I've always wanted to touch one of the ornaments because I wanted to see what they were, but there's always a gate there. And so often I would have to just look at the Christmas tree, not touch anything, because, you know, when you're little, you like to touch everything. You like to touch everything that you want to touch, even if you break it. Of course, that probably was the reason why they had it, because they knew little kids were going to want to touch the Christmas tree. That's why they had the gate. I don't know if they have a Christmas tree in the food court area this year. I didn't look, but I don't believe they did, because I went to the mall the other day. I didn't see a tree, so I don't know. But there used to be a tree. There used to be like 3 trees in the mall that they used to have. Now that I think they just have one, and that's the JCPenney area of the mall. Now, my mall never had a Macy's, and they didn't have a Kohl's until a couple years ago, but this might be some memories for other people. Some department store options that you would go at the mall and still go to the mall to go. Mainly Kohl's, JCPenney, Macy's are still around. Sears doesn't have a presence really in any malls anymore. There's probably like a few Sears actually have mall presence anymore, because most Sears have closed. But I remember going to the mall for Sears and JCPenney when I was little. We would go to Sears and get Christmas presents, as well as like, we'd get tires for the van, our Dodge van that we had, and my parents had a Dodge van, and then We would go to JCPenney for clothing and Christmas gifts there, like, you know, like flannel shirts for the men in the family and shirts for the women in the family. I don't know. Get whatever for gifts for everybody at JCPenney and Sears. Sears had a little bit of toys for us, me and my sister, but the main, we didn't really go to Sears for toys because Sears had like a really sucky toy section, basically. They didn't have a good toy section. I've always thought the Sears could have had a better toy section, but they didn't. Sears had what Sears had. Well, we would go to Sears to get the tires for the van, and we'd go there to get flannel shirts for like my grandfather and my uncles, or whatever we would get at Sears for the family for Christmas gifts. We didn't really go to Sears. We would go to like Ames or Kmart, really, but Kmart wasn't at this mall. Kmart was at the old mall, but at the Champlain Center South. That's actually a plaza now. That's with Kohl's or with Lowe's and Price Chopper and Runnings now, not Kmart. But anyway, we would go to Sears and JCPenney, and then a couple years later, or like several years after, in 2019, Kohl's was added to the mall. But that wasn't really a childhood memory because I went to Kohl's in the University Mall, the U Mall in South Burlington. Never went to Macy's before, but maybe some other people went to Macy's. That's why I added it, because other people have memories. Maybe they went to Macy's and Kohl's and Sears and JCPenney. Maybe that's the stores that were out there mall, but Macy's and Kohl's really weren't at the mall. JCPenney and Sears were the main department stores that we went to at the mall. I didn't really care for Sears. I like JCPenney a little bit more. Another memory of shopping at the mall during the Christmas time was seeing the displays at KB Toys. It was so cool to see like the little mini like the electronic like pets and stuff going around in a circle. I think it was like a dog or something. They used to have like to go around in a circle, or a cat or something. It was like a robotic cat or dog, would like run around in a circle. And it'd be like at the KB Toys, they had like this display. Another place was Toys R Us, but I didn't really go to. I didn't get a lot of toys from Toys R Us because they closed in 2002, and I got like I think it was like one birthday. I got a whole bunch of Toys R Us stuff for my birthday, but it was like when I was like 2 or something years old. I didn't really go there for anything else, but I didn't really go. Toys R Us really wasn't a big part of my childhood. It was actually KB Toys, to be honest. KB Toys actually stayed at my mall until like 2006 or 2005 or something. Or 2007, I would say. I think 2007 was the latest that they stayed open. Or they stayed in business until. And then like it became like a dollar store. And then it like was vacant for the longest time. And then Kohl's took up all that spot wherever all like Radio Shack and like the Gym Sports, and which was a local sports store that they had at the mall, and then KB Toys. So like Kohl's took up all that area basically. Also Radio Shack was also part of my childhood too at the mall when Christmas was going. Christmas time. Radio Shack, I didn't get a picture of Radio Shack for this video, but Radio Shack was also I'll talk about it, but Radio Shack was also a part of my childhood, seeing Radio Shack. And also Borders Books and Gifts, too. I forgot to get a picture of that as well, but Toys R Us actually became Borders Books and Gifts. Then it became Wendell's Furniture, Wendell's Clothes, and then it became your RC store, Lake City RC or something like that. And then Kohl's took up part of that spot, and then that's actually vacant now. Half of it's vacant, half of it's filled in by Kohl's. But anyway, that's what happened to the RC store, and also the Toys R Us building as well. The old Toys R Us building, Borders and Wendell's. The KB Toys was mostly part of my childhood. Toys R Us really wasn't. And after Toys R Us closed in 2002, I didn't really go to Toys R Us after that. I did go to the one in Williston, which was a standalone location with Babies R Us, but I didn't really go to that either. I only went to that location like once, basically, and that was it. Anyway, this was another memory of going to the mall at Christmas time. KB Toys. We didn't really get toys there because they were too expensive, but did see a lot of toys on display.